What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down on what is really moving it today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 1.07% right now, 22.74 the low, 24.81 the high. So the broader market's kind of going down, dragging SoundHound with it. It is more psychological rather than anything, because if we go over here, like it was the S&P, that's what really kickstarted the sell-off. And I think in general, it had to do with the whole 6,000 psychological kind of just milestone, because similar kind of scenario and pullback did happen at the 5,000 as well as the 5,500. But we already do know exactly what happens after this. It gets bought up and then we just break past the 6,000. So in general, I think it's kind of an unjustified pullback. So this is why you see a lot of big money buying it. But even just generally, SoundHound's doing very good in comparison to on a normal day. Like it swings like 8% down and then usually gets bought up. We haven't been seeing that same as yesterday. So in my video yesterday, I said this time with SoundHound is different. You're having shorts somewhat giving up even today. And I gotta admit, I have a lot of different YouTube channels, all different sectors, all different niches. A lot of them are heavily shorted stocks, but SoundHound single-handedly is one of the only stocks that actually has shorts returning today. So this is it's definitely something to take note of. So right now they're returning 304,000 shares. Not a lot, but still I think it's kind of the purpose of everything. So 304,000 shares being returned. 26.32% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 86.44 million shares overall are being shorted. And just generally shorts have lost a massive amount, so probably around 1.6 billion, 1.7 possibly, just in the last 3 months alone. So shorts are finally admitting somewhat defeat, but generally they have gone up a lot. So I think there still is a lot more room for it to go down. So it did peak at roughly around 27.45%. That was on December the 23rd. So let me know your viewpoint on that. Like I mentioned, no actual news associated to SoundHound today, but there was a lot of Form 4s that did come out. Honestly, you already know my stance on this. I'm not going to lecture or kind of do anything on this. I'm not a big fan of this, and I really hope in the future this does not hurt the sentiment, but there's a lot of selling across the board, not just with SoundHound, so I think maybe that's why the market is rather forgiving of all the directors and CEO and everyone selling out, because you have roughly around 2 more or 3 business days left before the blackout does commence. So I think a lot of people are just trying to maybe pay for the holidays and whatever else, right? So again, that might bother some people, might not. You guys do your own due diligence at the end of the day. Aside from that though, one thing I just wanted to bring up is typically it's very well known with crypto, you need a lot of capital getting in. If not, usually it goes down, gets very easily manipulated, and SoundHound's no different. So based on this, there was $54.7 billion leaving crypto and equity, the markets, to go to back to money markets. So now there is a all-time high of $6.81 trillion, going to show that there's a certain level of fear in the broader market. Despite that fear, SoundHound is still very, very high. One thing I've brought up in the past, and it's kind of signaling more of a broader market rotation, is similar to what happened between 2020 and 2021. So this right here shows a big rotation. So you can kind of see it went from roughly around 5.5 trillion to 5. So nothing crazy, but that amount of capital leaving money markets to go into equity as well as crypto, that prompted new record highs for pretty much every single stock. That is going to happen again. So you also have to factor in SoundHound is at these levels and this rotation hasn't even commenced yet. So once this does happen, you're going to see probably a lot of stocks just generally like 4 or 5x based on no fundamental change from the actual operations. So that's going to be coming most likely throughout 2025, possibly transitioning into 2026. because it's not an overnight thing, right? It takes several months for this to occur. So just wanted to kind of share some of that knowledge with you. That is going to be meaning a lot of big things for the broader market. But as of right now, 25 million in calls, 9.73 million in puts, 51% of all the options being done today are bearish in nature. Of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $27 next week. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly $22. Maybe between $20 and $22. So this is what I find crazy, is the fact that the bears, the worst case scenario for next week, they see $20. So essentially that does add a whole new level of support. So potentially just moving higher. These are all the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So a lot of big transactions, a lot of big money still paying attention to it. Definitely has gone down frequency level in comparison to, let's say, a couple of weeks ago, but I think that's to be expected overall. Based on this, with it at $23.84, it is trading right above this R1, so it was able to get above that. So 23.67 is going to be a strong support. Flip side, 25.45, and then 28.32 is going to be the next strong target / resistance levels. No new analyst ratings, nothing like that. On the actual chart itself, like in some cases, a lot of other stocks that have gone up, a couple that I cover, such as even Lucid, their technicals are looking a little bit more iffier. SoundHound is honestly one of the best looking charts out there. Even it is rather oversold, so that's kind of a crazy thing out of everything. And then yeah, it is above the ALMA, above all the key pivotal moving averages. So I think there is just higher highs coming for SoundHound. So let me know your viewpoint. Do you think that there is going to be a pullback? Do you think that it's going to have higher highs? You're having a lot of analysts starting to somewhat freak out over like a 3-4% pullback, saying that it's going to be a start of a recession. I completely disagree. I think today's pullback was very much unjustified, and the fact that shorts are returning is a very big signal of that, because if shorts did feel that it was unjustified, they have 950,000 shares available to be shorted just based on that. So they can easily double down if necessary, but they are not. So again, I still do see a lot more upside with SoundHound. So let me know your viewpoint. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon. I do buy signals, stocks, options, crypto. Many of them have been absolute bangers, such as even SoundHound. So pop over there and take a look. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.